In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use Newton's law of universal gravitation to literally attract anything that you ever want in this life. Your dream house, your dream car, your relationships, your business, bank account, money, success, freedom, peace, fame, you name it. We're going to dive deep into some quantum physics today. So make sure you get your notebook out. This is going to be a good one, but if you stick around to the end, you will literally know exactly how to hack your life and the universe to give you everything that you want and not even work extremely, extremely hard to make it happen, but to attract it into your life and to make it come to you. So you might be wondering, what the hell does Sir Isaac Newton have to do with anything? And here's him driving a Lamborghini because he actually understood this concept. So let's get straight into it. And I have seen this in action and I've used this myself, but more importantly, I've been around a lot of 9-figure entrepreneurs in the last 2 weeks, and this is one thing that I noticed that they have mastered. So let's get cracking. So my name is Jeremy Pogue, by the way, and I help online coaches scale with ads and setters. You can check out more info on the main video pinned to my channel, but let's get cracking. So Newton's law of universal gravitation says that every particle attracts every other particle in the universe with a force that's proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. What the hell does that mean? Basically, it says every particle in the universe attracts other particles, attracts every other one, right? And the bigger the mass of the particle, so the more mass the particle has, the bigger it is, the heavier it is, the denser it is, the more it attracts other particles, right? So if we look at this, for example, if we take two planets, Earth and Jupiter. Jupiter is way bigger than Earth and has a lot more mass. I don't know the exact, I'm no astrophysicist or anything, but let's just say the discrepancy, like the size scale is like this, right? So we have Jupiter over here, which is massive, and then Earth down here, which is little, right? Which do you think has a greater gravitational pull, right? And if we look at what Newton said, it would be Jupiter, right? It's proportional to the product of their masses. So that means Jupiter has more mass, right? If we look at it, this has more mass, which means it's going to have a stronger pull. Now, what does this have to do with anything? Let's take planets and change it to people, right? So if we look at two different people, two different entrepreneurs who are trying to go for the same thing, and we have somebody with a small mass and somebody with a big mass, and I'm not talking about physical here, right? I'm not talking about just if they're a large person physically, they're going to attract a lot more success in their life. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is internally, right? So the way that the market rewards you is based on your value, right? And if our external reality is simply a reflection of our internal state and our internal reality, then that means we have to start internally in order to affect our external, right? It's called the law of the mirror, right? And basically what it means is you have your internal reality, and everything that you get in the world on the outside is just a reflection of that. So if we're bringing it back to value, right, then the person with more value to provide to the marketplace, because as we know, right, when you provide value, the market gives you money, right? Let's just draw a dollar sign. The more value you provide, the more money the market rewards you with, right? So if your internal state is bigger and it's growing, you're going to have a reward that's a lot bigger as well, right? So if we look at person one versus person two, person one being Earth, person two being Jupiter, which one do you think is going to attract a lot more success in their life, right? It's probably the one with the bigger gravitational pull towards them. And you can see this when you meet really successful people. You can kind of you can feel it in their energy. You can see it when you're just observing them in a room. Other people are gravitated towards them, People want to sit at the same table with them for lunch or for dinner, right? People want to go to their masterminds. People want to join their communities. And that's because they have done so much inner work on themselves to increase their mass, right? Every skill that you acquire, every experience that you have, every challenge you overcome, every insight you have, every book you read, every program or course you take, they all contribute to your mass, right? And each one kind of stacks, and they stack on top of each other. So if you want to learn how to attract more success in your life, right? How to attract more money, nicer cars, your dream house, dream relationship, your dream business, dream team members, more clients, right? With all this stuff, who do you think is going to attract the highest quality of all of these, right? The easiest and the fastest. It's going to be the person with the biggest mass, the person that has done the most internal work, that has acquired the most skills, that have mastered the most skills, that have acquired the most experience, right? And that's why you see a lot of people talk about like the compound growth curve, right? And that's why it looks like this, because over here, when you're not really seeing any results and you're sad, that's because you don't have many skills and you're not very good at a lot of things, right? You don't have a lot of experience. You haven't actually gone through the hard work to learn the fundamentals and to master the foundations. And then when you get to this point, after like 8 to 10 years, then that's when things really start to flow to you, right? So down here, you have a really small gravitational pull, but then over here, you have a really big one, right? Because you're stacking layers and layers of your mass onto your core. So then you're building a much bigger one over time, right? Every book you read, every course you take, every skill you acquire, and then all of a sudden you're going to attract all the stuff in your life. And then it happens it's not even that hard. And it really just goes in line with the quote that says, at first it happens very slowly, like this, and then something happens, right? And then right here, you hit this point of inflection, and then it happens all at once. So at first it's very slowly. You go years without seeing anything because you're just working on turning your mass from this to this. But then over time, something happens. You start to click. You start to find your stride. You start to gain a lot more confidence because you have a lot more competence to back it up. And that's when everything else starts attracting to you, right? And so a lot of people mess this up and they have a small internal mass. They don't have many skills. They don't have much experience. They don't have much knowledge. They don't have a lot of insights, right? Yet they expect to attract all of these things very quickly. And they're looking for shortcuts. They're trying to sidestep the hard work and the long period of time that it takes, right? And this might not be what you want to hear, but this is exactly what you need to hear, because this is what I wish that I heard 6-7 years ago. And if you want to increase your bank account, then you have to increase the value that you provide to the marketplace. And the only way to provide more value to the marketplace, right? Money only comes after value, and the value only comes from your internal work. That's the way it works, right? You can't just create money out of nowhere. It has to come from something else, which is value, right? It's a pure asymmetrical value exchange. So if we look at it, it's like, let's say this is you, and this is the market. You want, right? Say this is your thought bubble. You want money, and the market, they want value, right? That's supposed to be thought bubbles right there. So you want money, the market wants value. So that's a problem being solved that they can't solve themselves, or they want to solve it quicker, right? Something like that. So in exchange, what you offer up is you offer your value to the market. That could be your expertise, your program, your course, your services, your work, whatever, right? And in exchange, so you give it to the market, and in exchange, the market gives you their money. And it's asymmetrical because you're happy because you think that the money that you're receiving is greater than the value that you're providing. But the market's also happy to pay that because they think that they're receiving more value than the money that they're giving you. So it's a pure value exchange there. So if you want to receive bigger amounts of money, right? We've already touched on this. Then you have to provide and give greater amounts of value. That's the way it works. And as we established right here, the only way to receive more money and to provide more value is to focus on the internal stuff, the internal work, right? And as we said before, the way to level up yourself is acquire new skills, experiences, insights, connections, proximity to other high-level people, right? I think physical challenges, let's just say like fitness, is a big one as well. You gotta have a really strong mindset, right? So every book you read, every course you take, every mentor you hire, every business you start, every failure that you make, each one of these things contributes to your mass. Each one of these things increases your mass, which increases the gravitational pull over time, which increases the speed and the ease of all the success that you want to attract into your life. And this is why some people have everything and most people don't, because most people aren't willing to go through this process for an unknown period of time, which is usually very long. And if you read the book Mastery by Robert Greene, he says on average, it takes about 8 to 10 years for somebody to become a master at their craft. And what this means in English is it takes about 8 to 10 years to increase significantly, let's just say like a compounding exponential increase in your gravitational pull, because it takes about 8 to 10 years to really, really accumulate a lot of mass, which then increases your pull, right? Which then attracts all the money, cars, house, business, relationships, team, right? All that kind of stuff, freedom, because you can only attract a lot of that stuff if you provide a lot of value. You can only provide a lot of value if you are a true master at what you do, right? And to tie it all back together, the only way to do this is to figure out what are my weaknesses, right? So if we're trying to make this jump from Earth to Jupiter, and we want to make that leap, then we have to figure out what's the gap, right? So what is that A to B? What's missing between where I am now versus where I want to be later, right? What is this gap? Usually it's a skill deficiency or experience deficiency, insight deficiency, knowledge gap, right? But there is a gap. There is this space right here that's non-existent yet, that doesn't exist. It's not filled in yet, right? And so you have to self-analyze, what are my gaps, right? To get from where I am now, let's just say let's say you're here in your journey and you want to get to here, point A to point B, you have to figure out what it is that you're missing in order to get there, right? What skills do you need to learn? For me right now, it's leadership, it's systems, it's operations, and all that kind of fun stuff, right? I scaled to over 200K a month, pretty much as a one-man show with a setter in my DMs. And that was it. And then everything broke and I kind of capped it around there. So I've kind of just been hanging out around there, a little bit below that. I managed to top that 1 month, but like just kind of been just been staying stagnant, right? So it would look like this, and then it's kind of been like this. That's because if I want to get to here, I need to fill this gap with these skills, right? This gap between where I am now, A to B, is a skill deficiency in leadership, in systems, and operations. And then once I crack these, then that's exactly what's going to take me up here, right? From 7 to 8 figures. And so that's what I'm working on now. So it's more so like, the answer to the question, like, how do we make this leap from Earth to Jupiter and increase our mass and our gravitational pull, is the answer to that is, who do I need to become in order to do that, right? What are my character traits that I need to adopt? What are the habits that I need to install every day? What are the thoughts that I need to choose to hold? What are the beliefs I need to either install or uninstall? What are the skills I need to learn? What are the experiences I need to have? What are the connections that I need to build, right? What are the relationships that I need to cultivate? All that stuff, right? What are the team members I need to attract, right? What are the systems I need to build? What are all of these things that you have to acquire and compose in order to become the who that's worthy to get the what that you want, right? And so if we tie it all back to here, at the end of the day, if we make this all nice and tidy, it comes back to this. The person with the bigger gravitational pull will attract more success in their life than the person that doesn't. And the only way to do that is to figure out what's missing between who you are now and who you have to become in order to do that. So that's it for the video. The action steps right now is create a list of these skills, the skills and the knowledge gap that you need to acquire, and then focus the next 6 to 12 months on acquiring and mastering these skills, and do as much as you can, read as many books as you can, take as many courses as you can, try it as much as you can, and fail as much as you can, and learn from those failures, because that's exactly how you do it. So do that. Rewire yourself, rewire your brain, your habits, your thoughts, your beliefs to become the who that's worthy of the what. So that's it for the video. Let me know if you like this. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know. But this is probably going to be one of the best videos that I've made, and at least one of the most powerful ones anyways. So let me know down below if you like in the comments, and hit the like button if this was good. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.